This price pullback when it comes to baby Dogecoin doesn't concern me whatsoever. I still believe in it. I haven't given up. And a $15 billion market cap, that's still my target for this bull run, even though nothing I say is financial advice. First of all, it's not my style to generate fear for no reason. It's not my style to just randomly make people panic. That's not me. I don't want to do that because I personally don't do that either. Keep in mind, a $15 billion market cap as of right now is around a 40x from here. So that's kind of insane to think about. Now you may be thinking, okay, this is impossible to achieve. Well, if something like Dogecoin reached over 80 billion, if something like SHIB reached around 40 billion, this was back in 2021, by the way. This can't do that during this bull run, especially when I consider just how amazing baby Dogecoin is. Yeah, I just don't see why not. Now, this is not all just smoke and mirrors, because baby Dogecoin as a meme coin, more specifically, it's changing the way people take a look at it, because people usually think about this as a useless project, and many people still do. However, baby Dogecoin, they're saying that, yeah, even though we're a meme coin project, we do have some utility. Not like it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things or anything like that. However, it's a thought that counts and people care about this. For instance, there's Baby Doge AI, which turns artworks into NFTs. That's amazing. Take a look at, for instance, Baby Doge Chess, a play-to-earn chess game. Not to mention, you take a look at Baby Doge Swap, allegedly allowing any token to be swapped on the BNB chain in just a matter of seconds. Take a look at the Baby Doge card. And not to mention, there's even something called farming as a service, which allows a project to create a staking farm or pool in just a matter of minutes. So when you take a look at it, the use case almost feels like it's even a fundamentally amazing project. It doesn't even feel like a meme coin. Like if, let's say, I didn't say this was a meme coin, people would be like, okay, what project is this? It's pretty solid. But the fact that it's a meme coin is kind of insane to think about. Now, why do I think that even despite people not really caring about the use case, this is going to matter? It's because think about the type of person who buys, let's say, a Range Rover or an off-road vehicle. Personally, the people that I know that buy that, most of the time, they're not going to go off-roading. It's not like they're going to say, yeah, we're going to take a road trip to Colorado or Utah and we're going to start, traversing the mountains. They're not really going to do that in most cases again. However, why do they buy an off-road vehicle even despite of that? It's just because they want to know that it has that feature, even though they may not necessarily want to do that. It's like, for instance, people who buy like a dive watch and let's say it can go down like 10,000 feet. Who's going to go that deep, in my opinion? The average individual, not really. But they just want to have that cool factor. It's like baby Dogecoin. Again, it's a meme coin, so naturally, it's not supposed to have a good use case. But people just want to know that at least it's trying. It's not being lazy. And it ticks that box in this case. Not to mention, there's over 100 integrations so far for it. So that's pretty good. And not to mention, you take a look at how it's listed in a bunch of major exchanges. I mean, when you take a look at a complete project like this, it's a no-brainer for me. Pullbacks are bound to happen. Take a look at Bitcoin. It's not like it's straight shot all the way from $1 to over 100,000. No, I mean, there was multiple pullbacks along the way. But you know what? My strategy is well suited for situations like this. I have preemptively prepared for this because anytime an income I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. Because I never went all in. If the price goes down, I'll be able to accumulate more. However, if the price goes up, I don't miss out on it because I was accumulating and holding the entire time anyways. So this right here is the beauty about dollar cost averaging, in my opinion. Now, when you take a look at something like baby Dogecoin, people like to say that, okay, yeah, there's too many meme coins out there. This one's not really going to flourish. Well, I'll disagree on that because yes, there may be a lot of meme coins out there, but very rarely we see a community and, fan base being this passionate. It's very difficult to see that. And this is not something that can be designed or bought, by the way, in my opinion, because take a look at Book a Meme. It's a very popular meme coin, but the community, in my opinion, doesn't feel that passionate. Nothing wrong with that. It's like, for instance, a chef, let's say they cook pasta. Let's say they cook, ravioli, whatever the case may be. Yeah, sure, they can follow the exact same recipe, but then depending on the chef, it's going to taste different. Some chefs out there, they have that it factor. They have that sort of aura, if that makes sense. When it comes to baby Dogecoin, again, it's not like it's the greatest project of all time, but the community is very passionate. It has a very passionate fan base. And again, that really can't be bought. So I think this right here is actually a very lucky project in a sense that they lucked out in terms of having this sort of connection and this sort of vibe that a lot of people just gravitate towards. Even I gravitate towards this project. Now, keep in mind, people like to say that, oh yeah, this bull run's taking too long. Baby Doge has peaked already. There's no more future. Well, I'll disagree on that because usually, as a worst-case scenario, altcoins, they do peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. So that's basically a year and a half. Now, a year and a half from the last Bitcoin halving event, which happened back in April of 2024, would be actually around October this year. So when you take that into consideration, we're still in January as of right now. I get it. It's going to soon be February. However, that's still ways away. Now, this is just more so of a baseline or a benchmark. It's not a guarantee that things are going to peak at that time as a worst case. It could maybe happen a little bit earlier, which would be awesome when it comes to baby Dogecoin. Also, maybe a little bit later, which is fine because I'll accumulate more. And sometimes things just randomly pump when we least expect it to do so. Like for instance, I was bullish on baby Dogecoin the entire time, and then suddenly Binance listing, boom, like even though I was bullish on it, I didn't expect that to happen at that time. However, even so, despite that, as the bull run progresses, man, really, if baby Dogecoin again decides to wake up in a massive way, maybe even just bigger, better, and stronger than ever before, it's really going to be just something hypothetically very fantastic like what we saw previously. However, even still, despite that, I'm not going to wait for the perfect moment because quite frankly, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect moment. Well, in hindsight, there is always going to be, but it's pretty difficult to predict that in real time, which is why, again, anytime an income, acquire, hold, and I just wait because when you have over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, I highly doubt that this board is going to be bad. I think if anything, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And even Charles Hoskinson has pretty much the same sentiment as this because Charles Hoskinson, who's the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Cardano, he does predict that in the next 1 or 2 years, based on a video that he was part of back in November last year, he did say that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. As to what exactly Bitcoin will reach and as to what exact time it will do that, only time will tell. However, I think if a reputable individual like that, who's in the know, who's in this crypto space for a long time now, created some very amazing projects that have become very successful, I highly doubt that his sentiment is something that should be kind of doubted. You know what I mean? I think when he says something like that, it means something. He's not going to be 100% correct, in my opinion, because no one, quite frankly, has a magic crystal ball to tell the future. He could maybe be correct, but there's no way to tell right now. But even still, despite that, if let's say Bitcoin were to reach $250,000, his worst case price prediction for Bitcoin in the next 1 or 2 years, at that point, even a $15 billion market cap for baby Dogecoin may seem a little bit bearish. That's just my opinion. Now, again, only time will tell, but I'm still very bullish on this project. I'm not giving up. I get it. People don't like pullbacks. They only want to see green, but it's much like in real life. The journey to the top isn't always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be ups and downs. It's only normal. Some projects do have a straight shot up, but that's very rare, and it's not the norm. So, again, I'm still staying patient. Keep in mind, as of right now, baby Dogecoin is doing a lot better than when I first started talking about it. Take into consideration, when I first started talking about baby Dogecoin, it was doing so bad. Like, no one really believed in it, but I did. Now, I'm not saying I was the only one, but of course, a lot of people were doubting why I did choose baby Dogecoin. But as of right now, despite the price pullback, they're saying, oh yeah, it's bad. But then it's still relatively up by quite a significant amount compared to when I first started talking about it. So in the grand scheme of things, is it really doing that bad? Probably for the people who got in like kind of relatively a little bit later on, maybe. But generally speaking, it hasn't done bad in the grand scheme of things. It's actually one of the biggest meme coins out there right now. I'm not saying it's like top 5 or anything like that, but still it's pretty well established. The community is there. And I think this is just a matter of time before hypothetically it really does gain that mass attention. However, only time will tell. In a $15 billion market cap, that's still my target for this bull run. And I haven't given up when it comes to this. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Molly the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.